Let's do some pruning. Tonight we're talking about vining cucumbers. It's really important to be able to identify each part of the plant before you get to pruning. Cucumber plants have these really large leaves, these beautiful orange flowers, and also these tendrils. Let's start with the big leaves. It's the job of these large leaves to soak up the sunshine and give energy to the plant, and they also provide shade for the cucumber fruit. Cucumber vines are susceptible to mold and fungus, so it's important to remove any low-hanging leaves that could touch the soil or remain consistently wet. So here I am just removing some of those leaves that are low-hanging and not getting much sun and kind of just draining energy from your plant, not really being helpful. By removing them, it creates airflow beneath the plant. Another reason it's really important to prune your cucumbers is because they're a vine and they grow kind of crazy all over the garden. These tendrils will reach out and grab anything in their path. They're activated by touch, so as soon as they brush against something, they will begin to wrap around it, helping the vine climb. That's why I train my cucumbers to grow vertically. I just use regular old tomato cages. Last, let's talk about the flowers. They are not self-pollinators, which means they rely on bees and other insects to move the pollen from the male flower to the female flower. That's why I never prune any flowers off my cucumbers. That's also why I chose chamomile as a companion plant, because they attract pollinators to the garden. I hope these helpful tips will have you enjoying cucumbers all summer long.
How can you tell when a cucumber is ready to be picked? Ripe cucumbers are going to have a firm green flesh. That's when you know they're ready to be harvested. With cucumbers, you definitely want to make sure that they're ripe before you harvest because cucumbers do not continue to ripen after they are harvested. Now, the exact size of a ripe cucumber is going to depend on what you're going to use it for and the variety. Pickling cucumbers are generally harvested when they're 2 to 6 inches long, and your slicing cucumbers are good at about 6 inches long. The optimal time to harvest your cucumbers is in the early morning while the vines are still cool. After harvest, you can store your cucumbers in the refrigerator, or you can also leave them out on the countertop. Just keep them out of direct light.
I've been getting quite a few questions on when should I harvest my cucumbers. This is going to depend on the variety and ideally how big do you like them to be when you eat them. We prefer for our cucumbers not to get too large, but it does depend on the variety we're growing. Let me show you a couple of sizes we have available in our garden today. This one's a great example of variety. This is a gherkin cucumber variety, and they're the little tiny ones that you'll get in the store, the gherkins. So they should be little. They shouldn't be runaway like that. Even though you can still eat it, it's not going to have that gherkin crunch or even that gherkin flavor. In contrast, this cucumber is a Bayet Alpha. It's a self-pollinating cucumber, and that's a really nice size for these guys. These cucumbers are Boston pickling cucumbers, so I don't want my pickles much bigger than that, so I'm going to pick them at that size. Remember, cucumbers, just like all plants, want to go to seed. This was a gherkin, but not anymore. It wanted to go to seed, and if you let it stay on your plant and grow so big, it'll stop producing for you. So harvest them often and you'll get more fruit. Happy gardening.
It's day 9. Let's talk about cucumbers. So like melons, cucumbers are still an early season crop for me. However, I do have some dwarf varieties that are planted here with 2 of their companions. It's chamomile and dill. They help with flavor. They help with repelling pests. Chamomile is also going to give us a gorgeous flower. Same with dill if you let it go that long. This is a calendula plant that is about to start flowering as well. This is another area that is going to have cucumbers. I've got the seeds started. And they will grow and I will pull out this pea plant. But I've got some dill, we've got calendula close by. I've got radishes around that I am planning on letting go to seed. And that is going to be my other cucumber. Cucumbers share a lot of similarities with both melons and squash. So here are some of the flowers and herbs that we are going to want to companion plant with them. Borage, marigold, wildflowers, and cosmos are great additions to companion.
So I was taking a look at my cucumber plants and they look ready. I got some cucumbers. Y'all want to see? Come on. cucumber, 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 cucumber. Yes, you see it? You see what I grew? You see what I grew? Very excited, very excited. So these cucumbers are nice, good mid-size, which we want our fruit to be. Sometimes I let things grow really big just to see how big I can grow them. But ideally for taste and flavor, you want your veggies to be mid-size. So these are ready to pick. And they'll be a little prickly when you first pick them. And here it is, a cucumber, a cucumber. Yes, it's gonna.
After more than a decade of gardening, I've realized why I do it.
So heavy.
It's not for the perfect garden moments because those are few and far between. It's for truly good food. Yes, there are lots of other benefits, but gardening for me is the way I can guarantee the best tomato I've ever tasted each year, the sweetest strawberry, and the freshest herbs. It's how I nourish myself and my family with food grown with my love, care, and special attention. It's the reason I'll be a lifelong gardener.